Today on the podcast, I want to talk about a really interesting and also what I think is a very exciting new approach and, a direction for AI. And that is the fact that Replit, which is, of course, a pretty solid company. It's been around for a long time. They help people develop and kind of make applications and whatnot. They are bringing open source AI developer tools to everyone. And I think this is really exciting, a big deal. So today on the podcast, I'm going to be diving into the implications of this, who can use it, what you can use it for, and what the new features they have just launched really mean for the industry. So let's get into it. Welcome to the world's #1 AI podcast, AI Chat. I'm your host, Jaden Schaefer. Make sure that you go to aibox.ai, link in the show notes, to join the waitlist for our new AI platform. We're going to be launching an incredible platform that allows you to build anything you want with workflows in AI. So you're able to chain together ChatGPT and image generators and audio generators to make really powerful apps for your organization, or you can host them on our marketplace and actually generate royalties from them. So make sure to go to aibox.ai and join the waitlist. In addition, if you like the podcast, if you could do me a massive favor and please leave us a review on Apple or Spotify or wherever you listen to your podcast. This helps me be able to get better guests on here as they check the reviews to see how you guys are liking it. So if you could please do that, I would really, really appreciate it. Have you ever wanted to start your own podcast? I record and publish podcasts on a platform called Spotify for Podcasters, and I absolutely love it. Essentially, you can upload from your phone or computer, and it distributes to every platform that plays podcasts. They support video podcasts, and you can make money on the platform with ads or even podcast subscriptions, something that has made my life so much easier as a podcaster. So if you're interested, I highly recommend you give it a try. You can download the Spotify for Podcast app or go to spotify.com/podcasters to get started on your podcast today. In a big move to democratize AI for developers, Replit, which is of course the developer tooling provider, announced its quote-unquote AI for all initiative. So the company is integrating the Ghostwriter AI code completion tool into its core platform, making this generative AI tool accessible to its huge user base. I think they have over 20 million people that use Replit. And I think this move is really kind of like the goal here is to reshape the future of coding by making AI a default experience rather than an add-on that, you build your project and you add AI into it. They're really trying to say, no. AI is kind of the core functionality. It is the core thing that you have. So Replit has been gradually enhancing its generative AI offerings over the past year, right? They haven't just been sitting down doing nothing. They've been adding some features. I think these developments have included the Ghostwriter tool, which is a high-profile partnership with Google. And so while access to Ghostwriter was previously exclusive to a select group of users, this is no longer the case. So this is essentially what Amjad Masad, who's a CEO, said. Replit's mission has always been about access. And he said this during a live stream session of the AI Engineer Summit. And he also highlighted the company's objective to bring in kind of like a new era where developers universally have access to tools like Ghostwriter. The underlying philosophy that he expressed is essentially to embed AI deeper into every programming activity, essentially ensuring that AI becomes a really seamless and integral part of the coding experience. So Microsoft's GitHub Copilot, Amazon's Code Whisperer, Stack Overflow's, Overflow AI are all examples of, this really growing AI-powered tool ecosystem, which is catering to developers. So this is not like a new area. This is definitely kind of a hotly contested area. But Replit, of course, right, 20 million users, I think they have a really solid way that they're going to be able to disrupt this. In contrast to tools that operate as additional layers to existing developer ecosystems, right, like you have with GitHub and Amazon and Stack Overflow, I think you can contrast this a little bit with Replit, which kind of envisions AI as the foundational element of creating and programming. So they're taking a different approach, right? So if you're using something like GitHub Copilot, you're going to have your own code repository. You're in there writing code or editing things, and it's going to like autocorrect and suggest like ways you can add new lines of code or what you're trying to do, and you essentially can accept that, right? So that's kind of the GitHub Copilot way. Replit is completely different. I think they're really trying to integrate AI into all parts of this. So as part of this rollout, the Ghostwriter is going to, like, the name is going to be retired, and then essentially just reinforcing the idea of AI as a central feature to Replit. So they're not going to have like, this is the Replit Ghostwriter, like the little add-on. It's like, no, this is just Replit, was what Replit does. So They said, quote, "We believe this will be the largest deployment of AI-enhanced coding globally. We're going to be burning as much GPU as we're burning CPU, so pray for us." That was kind of funny. In any case, in another significant announcement, Replit also introduced an updated version of its proprietary open source generative AI large language model for coding. So it is dubbed Replit Code v1.5, and I think it's a 3 billion parameter model. It's really kind of positioned as a robust alternative to existing models like StarCode LLM, and also Meta has one called Code Llama, which is 7B. And this model showcases Replit's, I think, really their ambition in the domain. They're not just trying to add AI tools into what they're doing. They're really building their own foundational model, which is quite impressive. So Mikel Castro, who's the VP of AI at Replit, clarified during the AI Engineer Summit that Replit's generative AI tools aren't, mere overlays on third-party LLMs. Instead, they originated from the company's own, unique open source innovations. So the Replit Code v1.53b update was trained on I think it was around 1 trillion tokens of code, and supports an impressive array of 30 different programming languages. Katasa also kind of talked a little bit about the quote-unquote secret sauce behind the model's abilities, and according to him, the rigorous effort Replit invested in data quality has been instrumental. He emphasized quote, "Paying attention to data quality is paramount, and that's what we have emphasized at Replit." So I think in addition to that, the model was trained on 128 NVIDIA H100, 80G GPUs, which is, of course, really impressive just given the rarity and the performance capability of those units. So Castro also said, quote, "To our knowledge, this is the first model officially announced to be trained on the H100 that has been released as open source. So we're very excited about it." I think in an age where AI is definitely revolutionizing various sectors, Replit's move indicates its commitment to really making sure that the development community is, I think, at the forefront of this transformation. Their whole AI for all initiative or whatever. I think this could be game changer in making sure that AI tools are, really ubiquitous and, leveling the playing field for developers globally. So definitely a very interesting prospect. This is a great company. They're doing some really cool things. We'll continue to follow how these new features are, accepted, and how this is accelerating development in the future.
This episode is brought to you by Shopify. Forget the frustration of picking commerce platforms when you switch your business to Shopify, the global commerce platform that supercharges your selling wherever you sell. With Shopify, you'll harness the same intuitive features, trusted apps, and powerful analytics used by the world's leading brands. Sign up today for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/tech, all lowercase. That's shopify.com/tech.
Thank you for listening to the AI Chat Podcast. If you enjoyed the podcast, I'd appreciate it if you rate me wherever you listen to podcasts. And if you're looking for an innovative group of AI enthusiasts, make sure you check out our Discord channel and also our Facebook community. It's obviously a lot more interactive than a podcast, where we can actually share software tools, prompts that we're using in everyday AI. I'll leave a link for those in the description below.